The transatlantic ripple, a state visit overshadowed. The recent meeting between UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer and US President Donald Trump, while generating significant buzz across the pond, barely registered a blip on the American media radar. A stark contrast emerges when comparing the coverage on both sides of the Atlantic, revealing a fascinating disparity in news priorities and public interest. While UK newspapers heralded the encounter as a pivotal diplomatic moment, its impact on the American consciousness proved surprisingly muted. This discrepancy begs the question: why did a meeting of such apparent significance garner such differing levels of attention? The UK media, predictably, focused on the pomp and circumstance surrounding the visit. Front pages splashed images of the two leaders, emphasizing the symbolic weight of the occasion. The delivery of a personal invitation from King Charles III for a second state visit to the UK was prominently featured, presented as a significant gesture of goodwill and a testament to the enduring strength of the special relationship between the two nations. The meeting itself was cast as a crucial opportunity for strengthening bilateral ties, addressing shared challenges, and reaffirming the alliance's commitment to global stability. The articles delved into the potential outcomes, speculating on the discussions held and the agreements reached, highlighting the political significance of the encounter for both leaders and their respective countries. The overall tone was one of optimism and expectation, framing the visit as a success for both sides. However, the American perspective paints a vastly different picture. A cursory glance at prominent U.S. news outlets reveals a muted, almost indifferent reaction. While the meeting was mentioned, it was often relegated to secondary news sections, overshadowed by other, arguably more sensational, events. The focus, unsurprisingly, shifted to President Trump himself and his often controversial pronouncements. Trump's preferred news channel, for instance, chose to highlight a seemingly unrelated anecdote from the Oval Office meeting. Their online front page featured a headline boldly proclaiming, "Trump draws laughs with answer to question about calling Zelensky a dictator." The article centered on Trump's response to questions regarding his past controversial labeling of Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. His admission, "I can't believe I said that," dominated the narrative, effectively overshadowing the actual purpose and substance of the meeting with Prime Minister Starmer. This singular anecdote, pulled from the larger context of the visit, became the dominant narrative in the American media coverage. The strategic placement of this headline, prioritizing a controversial statement over a significant diplomatic event, speaks volumes about the current media landscape and its tendency to focus on spectacle over substance. CNN, a major American news network, offered a similarly fragmented perspective. While the meeting did find mention in a couple of articles, its treatment lacked the prominence and analytical depth afforded by UK publications. One article echoed the focus on Trump's controversial remarks concerning Zelensky, reinforcing the American media's inclination to prioritize personality-driven news over geopolitical discussions. Another article briefly acknowledged the royal invitation, but its significance remained largely unexplored. The overall lack of substantial analysis or insightful commentary on the strategic implications of the meeting suggests a prioritization of immediate, often sensational, news over deeper political analysis. The discrepancy in coverage highlights several important factors. Firstly, the inherent differences in news priorities between the UK and US media landscapes are evident. The UK, with its long history of close ties to the US and its own complex relationship with the global political stage, naturally attaches greater significance to such meetings. American media, however, often prioritizes domestic issues and personalities, often leading to a selective focus on narratives that align with existing public interest. Secondly, the Trump factor undoubtedly played a significant role in shaping the American narrative. Trump's continued presence in the political spotlight, often fueled by controversy, inevitably draws media attention away from other events, even those of significant geopolitical importance. His personality and past pronouncements cast a long shadow, overshadowing the broader context of the visit and potentially influencing the public's perception of the event itself. The contrasting narratives presented by the UK and US media underscore the complexity of international relations and the challenges of crafting a unified, coherent narrative across different cultural and political contexts. While the UK media presented the meeting as a landmark diplomatic achievement, the US media largely relegated it to the background noise of Trump's ongoing controversies. This disjunction suggests a need for a more nuanced approach to international reporting, acknowledging diverse perspectives and avoiding oversimplification of complex political interactions. Ultimately, the contrasting narratives serve as a potent reminder of the subjective nature of news coverage and the power of framing to shape public perception.